Welcome to the Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Jayden Ginsweider. Joining me is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
We need like a Fox News. Have you seen the most recent South Park season?
No, I haven't.
Well, they have this bit of like where they cut like a breaking Fox News alert. We kind of need some like that.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's suspended.
Yeah. So we're on a break. We were taking a break. We're just kind of, schedules weren't lining up. We were getting kind of burnt out on just trying to make the podcast happen. So we were taking a few months off. The plan was to come back the week after All In so we could talk that. But we kind of left in an emergency pod clause here. And this is an emergency pod. This is, huge news. Not being talked about enough, by the way, online. I've not seen much regarding this. But the Janel Grant lawsuit has entered private arbitration. Now, since the beginning of this podcast, we have been giving strenuous updates on this. Every little increment forward, we have given an update on this, and now this is the big one so far. Well, if we find out how much they actually settle for, if they settle, how that goes, that'll probably be bigger news that'll get spread around a little bit more. But just the fact that they're even entering private arbitration was big enough for us to come back. So the big points here for me, the big things that I immediately thought of: one, this means that the rest of the proceedings will take place behind closed doors. Like, we will not have, the rest of this will not be necessarily open to the media. So we will not have a lot of in-depth reporting unless stuff is leaked from one camp or the other. And the bigger thing to me is that if Vince pays a settlement, that will be considered an admission of guilt in the public eye.
I mean, there's not much he can do to get out of it being admitting the guilt because of everything that's happened in the case up until now.
Yeah. There will be staunch Vince defenders. There always are in cases like this, no matter who the person is, if they are of any kind of relevance. There will always be defenders that will say, well, he wasn't officially charged with anything, that the lawsuit went to a settlement, but everybody else will be like, that's, you know, if you're paying up for it, you're admitting that it's at least sort of true that you didn't think you could completely get out of it, so you're just going to pay it off, which is kind of initially what they did with like the NDAs and whatnot, was just kind of initially paying hush money to keep Janel Grant from coming out about all of this. Shane, when we talked about it off air, you came with kind of 3 theories as to what's happening here. So if you want, we can kind of go one by one in those and see what's going on.
They make the most sense as what would probably happen to me. I mean, I'm not a legal expert, to say the least, obviously, but just from a glance, it's what I feel like is happening.
So the first thing you said was that Vince is in poor health. What do you want to kind of elaborate on that?
I just think that because they're moving to arbitration, because a settlement is looking to be the end of this very, very soon for the two of them. I think that Vince is in poor health for this theory that he wants to stop fighting the case. He wants to stop trying to prove innocence or just win the case per se, and he just wants to get it off his back to give him less stress because he's in poor health, and stress when you're in poor health is very bad, making himself worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just wants to get off out of the system, out. The other one I thought of was that the Ring Boy case is going in a way that it is looking very likely like they're going to have a serious punishment for the Ring Boycott lawsuit. Last I saw, they were in discovery. They are allowing the plaintiffs to remain anonymous. Every update I've seen has been pretty solidly going towards the Ring Boys' favor.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we don't know what they see in Discovery that we don't see. There could be some damning evidence that they've pulled out that it's over.
Yeah, the last couple updates on that, just kind of from a quick glance of headlines here, were it going into Discovery, and then in May of this year, Linda McMahon had put forward a motion to for the Ring Boys to identify themselves, and a judge ruled for the Ring Boys to keep their anonymity. So that's kind of where we are with that. Like we've said so many times with both of these cases, these things move at a snail's pace. Work is being put into both of them, but just the way the legal system works and just the time that has to go into that. But you're right. I mean, if they do see the writing on the wall with the Ring Boy suit, it's best to just kind of just take the fall for that and try to settle this without any further, addition to. And then the last one was the Trump involvement, right?
Yeah, well, this one has been kind of known since Trump got elected and almost immediately decided that, hey, the federal investigation into Vince McMahon is no longer going to happen. That happened, I want to say,
His pal, Vince McMahon.
In the first week of the current Trump administration, that they dropped the investigation into Vince McMahon. We know how long, as you were just talking about, we know how long legal cases take. This could have been in the works since then at that time, because this is a federal case. Knowing that the federal judges, whoever they had, could be targeted by Trump to lesser punishment, pushing the crowd away. Private arbitration may be the best point of case here.
Yeah, and we know that, fraud and, mingling with whatever he wants apparently has no consequences. So, like, who knows how many strings he's pulled here? Like you said, there's been so much going on with these cases in WWE, and two, there's been so much going on with the Trump administration. I completely forgot that he canceled the investigation in his first week. Like, it's just so much shit to remember here. But we know there is a long 40-plus year history of Vince McMahon and Donald Trump knowing each other. They're both insane rich guys that are still trying to impress their dead fathers. They have a lot to bond over. And this, of course he would interfere to help his friend. He'll interfere to help anybody he wants. It's extremely possible. I think of the three, it's probably a little bit of each, but for me, I think kind of Occam's razor, what makes the most sense. I would lean towards the poor health of it all, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar move, at least attempted, with the Ring Boy suit to try to just settle it and get all of this over with.
The Ring Boy suit is going to be
Ring Boy suit
a hell of a lot harder to settle, as Vince is...
Yeah, there was 2 points as you make there. Is one, the Ring Boy suit is going to be a lot harder to settle, and two, we were a lot further along in the Janel Grant trial. Like discovery for Janel Grant started like much, or that was like that's like a year ago now. That was like last summer that we were talking about them going into discovery, and they just started discovery for the Ring Boys in December. So like they're on different timelines. So it may be a while before we see if the Vince McMahon camp attempts to take this to settlement like they did with the Janel Grant suit. It might be a while before we see that come to fruition, whether it's denied or accepted. Either way, if his health is in good condition, as good as an 80-year-old steroid maniac can be, if his health is in good condition and they settle these suits, do you think there's a chance we see Vince McMahon back involved with the WWE? Because the current administration of WWE has shown they have no backbone. There is no line they won't cross. They don't care.
It depends how it depends how the Ring Boy settlement goes. Because TKO is because it is a TKO suit. Because it's just everything is coming up to where it's not just WWE. It is WWE and TKO and Mark Shapiro and Vince McMahon and so on and so forth. It is a multi-level suit there that I don't think a large settlement coming from Vince would require a large settlement coming from TKO. And that's where I think he won't be welcome back, because a large settlement from TKO looks bad.
But you know what else looks bad? Promoting Conor McGregor in the main event of a fight, in a main event fight, bringing back Brock Lesnar to the WWE, running an event on the White House lawn during this administration. Like, TKO's not afraid to sully its public image.
Oh, well, I mean, UFC has never had a backbone at all, ever. UFC's had no backbone in however long Dana White's been there. Not once. So that's not very surprising to see Conor McGregor and the Trump thing and the White House lawn event. UFC has had zero backbone for 20 plus years now. I know you're not as aware of that as I am aware of that.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is money. If and I'm not trying to name names. I'm not trying to say this as anybody's an abuser. But let's just say somebody in like that who's on Evolve. Let's say like a WWE NXT trainee or somebody in like a Tozawa role.
John Superstar on WWE Evolve, low on the card.
If you're an NXT or if you're anything under a main eventer, a certified draw, if you did the things that Brock did, that Vince did, that Conor McGregor has done, that Dana White has done, you're persona non grata. You are gone. You are done. But because we live in the world we live in, and because to all businesses the be all end all is to make a profit, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, and if you make the business money, they'll take you back.
And but the thing is, I think Vince would, him appearing on screen at all, I think would bring in a at least one pretty good house. Like I think, the culture war within professional wrestling, this kind of WWE versus AEW idea over the years has become very intermingled with the overall culture war we're having right now. And there are certainly exceptions, but it feels like the audience of WWE is a lot more conservative leaning, a lot more open to taking back these people that have done bad things, and the audience
Well,
in AEW is a lot more left leaning and would be a lot angrier about bringing back these people.
I
I
mean,
know, I know
that was that
there are,
one fan who did the Nazi salute at MSG to Gunther, but
yeah. Like I said, I know there are exceptions in both the fandoms and on the company levels that to that rule, but there's this kind of general connection I've drawn between these groups, just from interacting with these fandoms, and so I think there's a lot of WWE fans that would want Vince McMahon back, just like there were a lot of WWE fans that were excited when Brock came back, and so it would at least make them a little bit of money to bring him back on screen in some capacity. Um, so because he is a main event level name. You know what I mean? He's not, like we said, Joe Superstar who toils away in catering and appears on main event here and there. Like he's a big name in this company and in this sport. You know what I mean? So, um, that's I think that, like you said, it absolutely depends on how the Rainbow suit goes. But if both of these suits just go to private arbitration and go to a settlement, and he dishes that out, I would not be shocked if we saw him back in the WWE.
yeah, and I think that would apart well, many other things. I think that would put me on off of buying even like the games because
Oh yeah.
none of my money goes to WWE when you buy WWE 2K, given that they've already paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what happens is that people keep buying the games. 2K realizes that it is a pretty solid investment to keep paying for the license, which means you in the long run you are paying WWE to stop hand and fist.
Right now.
Yeah,
It's like if
it's
by watching basketball, we aren't directly giving money to NBC, but the more we watch basketball on Peacock and NBC, the more money that the NBA is gonna get for media rights. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
yes,
we
like
are giving money directly to NBC, but we're not giving it directly to the NBA. But the more they'll get, the next time the rights are up for NBA games from NBC. Yeah.
as an example, the World Cup just ended, but the rights for 2030 are up in the air right now. And if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken, I read that NBC is offering a pretty penny to FIFA, who is an organization that does not deserve a single goddamn cent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're offering
And by
a pretty penny to give them the rights to the World Cup.
and by watching those games, we gave them. I mean, I didn't give them as much because I pirated most of the World Cup games I watched
Right.
allegedly. So
Like me,
I
who
didn't
watched
really.
pretty much almost every game on Peacock.
Yeah, I only watched a
Uh,
couple games on Peacock, but yeah. All right. Anything else on the Vince suit?
there's nothing right now. We'll have to see if the settlement is public whenever that happens. I would say maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But
Not always. I feel like it's been a while since there's been a big one like this that I've followed, but I feel like typically the settlement it's some kind it's kind of like movie budgets a lot of the times. Like you'll find out a range that the settlement is in. Like it'll be reported that the settlement is $100 to $120 million or something like that, whatever it is. I don't know if that's a realistic number. I just threw a number out there, but whatever the settlement is, that's what it is. It's sometimes fault. They give us at least a range. I think we'll hear at least something from one of the camps. Well, other than the Vince thing, it kind of just lined up well that this news broke as we are heading into AEW Redemption. So I thought while we're here, lighten the mood a little bit. Let's talk AEW Redemption. I know I've been keeping up. I've watched every Dynamite in about half the collisions since we've been on break. So I've been keeping up with it. And I think it's been it's been an underwhelming build for this show for me overall. But then I look at the names on the card, and I'm really excited to see these matches. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that's how AEW is. At least right now,
Yeah.
is that the builds and the stories have been kind of hit or miss, but
Mm-hmm.
the name value of how good these guys are, it's just going to be,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. So we have 8 matches announced. Let me double check that, make sure I haven't watched tonight's Dynamite. Let me make sure there weren't any extra matches thrown on there. If I can find it again, AEW Redemption. Okay, Cage Match hasn't added any extra matches yet, so we'll just go with these 8, which means confidence points 8's your max. First up for the TBS Championship, Hikaru Shida versus Maya World. Maya World really been getting a good push up the card in the last couple months. Who do you got winning this one, Shane?
Oh, can you repeat it? Anyway, bro. I had an opinion, but I just forgot who was in it.
Hikaru Shida and Maya World.
There we go. All right, cool. I think Hikaru Shida is going to retain here just because it's a kind of a young reign, and while I love Maya World, I think that she's not ready quite yet.
Mm-hmm. How many points on it?
I'll give it 2 because if this is like a month or 2, I say Maya World 6, but Shida 2 right now. If this is all in, I'd say maybe Maya World wins it.
I went Shida 6, like you said, it's a young reign. I feel like there's something here with this Shida reign. Like, it's not reaching great levels yet, but there's kind of, there's a spark here. I kind of like what Shida's doing, and I think this could turn into a really great reign as it develops. If the kindling is well taken care of, and we could really see this erupt into something great. Next up, we have the Young Bucks versus the Death Riders team of Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. Who do you got here?
I'm really torn because I love the idea of Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay trying to work together, but the Young Bucks are such a given that can we coexist versus the most respected tag team of the past 2 decades now.
Maybe even longer, yeah.
And that is the 20s and the 10s. I guess we'll go. I have to go Young Bucks 8. I have to.
Young Bucks 8, okay.
I'm
a little bit more wishy-washy on this, because there is the scenario where the Young Bucks win. Nick, what the dog doing? Jackson pins Ospreay and gets himself into the world title picture.
What that dog be doing, dude?
Because what the dog doing? No, but I was kind of back and forth on this one. I ended up going 4 points on the Death Riders. I think it's just kind of a bigger move for them to win. Leading into, I think the closer Ospreay and Mox are, the more tension there is between Ospreay and Omega. So I think the Death Riders will win. Next up, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland defend the AEW World Tag Team titles against Claudio Castagnoli and Pac of the Death Riders. Who are you going with here, world title?
Oh, I think it's time. I'm sorry. No.
I think it's time, but I don't think Claudio and Pac are the guys.
I just remembered where the show is too. This is the old man.
It's in Canada.
The old men for 7.
Yeah, I also went Cope and Cage for 7. But like, I also agree that I think we can call it wrap on the Adam Copeland Christian Cage title reign, but I think we do it all in. I love Claudio and Pac, and the idea of a Claudio Castagnoli Pac tag team title run is exciting to me, but I don't think they're right at the right level to take the titles off the legends of Copeland and Christian. Next up, Jericho Vortex, Chris Jericho, Tommaso Ciampa, no holds barred. The Painmaker, Chris Jericho.
Oh, Ciampa, 800 million.
You want to go Ciampa? 6 is the highest you have left?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, this was a real, do I put what I want to happen or do I try to score points to beat you? I went Jericho for 2 because I think they're going to have him win, and I'm too competitive, and I want to be more wrong about this than anything ever. Because I mean, I love Tommaso Ciampa. He's probably one of my top 30, maybe even top 25 favorite wrestlers of all time. I don't know exactly where I have him on my list right now, but I would love for Ciampa to win this, but it's probably going to be Jericho, unfortunately.
The Painmaker to do though, the Painmaker Jericho.
Yeah, dude, I know. It's Raptors Hakeem versus Tommaso Ciampa, but
it's. I feel you're being too mean to Raptors Hakeem there. I told you, it's Spurs T-Mac.
T-Mac, yeah.
Did you even know he was on the Spurs?
Yes, I did know, but only as one of those trivia questions. You know what I mean? Only as one of those washed guys, Celtic Shaqs. I only knew him as one of those. Next up, AEW National Title. Close your eyes and count to fuck Mark Davis. How you know Andrade Idolo? Who you got walking out with the national title?
I love both these guys. I think the correct answer is either of these guys. That being said, I think Mark Davis is on a hell of a tear that we saw Andrade on the first half of the year. Right now, it's the other way around where it's Mark Davis is now on that tear. I would go Mark Davis for 3.
Okay, I went with Andrade for 3. I was very back and forth on this one also. But I just went Andrade feels very over. Davis has really earned this title reign, and I think he's been very exciting whenever he pops up. As forgettable as this title is, I'm always excited to see Mark Davis. But honestly, take this title off Mark Davis. Give me a Davis, Doyle, and Hechicero trios title reign.
It's the national title. You don't have to do that. You can have both.
But you can also have Andrade carry a title into All In, which I think is an interesting perspective, interesting idea.
That's true.
Next up, the international title, also held in the Don Callis family. We have Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito.
Oh,
Fletcher just recently winning this title, taking it off Takeshita as Takeshita went over to participate in the G1.
It's gotta be Fletcher, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I had. And how many points do you want to give?
Whatever the most I have is.
I would say you have 1, 4, and 5 left. I also gave him 5.
I'll do 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have 1 and 4 left for these last 2. Next we have Tekla versus Willow Nightingale. This one's tough.
I'm gonna say Tekla won just because I want Tekla to keep the belt.
That's what I landed on. So it's really tough because Willow versus Mercedes storyline wise probably makes more sense. There's a lot of history there. But Tekla's really earned it, man. She has been on a hell of a tear. She's in, fuck the segregation, male, female, tag team, whatever. She has been in like one of the best of the year overall. So I don't it's crazy. She's been the best Austrian wrestler this year. I'll say it. That might be a controversial point, but she's been the best Austrian wrestler of 2026.
Given where the other one works, I think you're right. Unless there's somebody like WXW who's been tearing shit up.
Maybe, yeah. Someone who's been having 5-star bangers with one called Manders that we don't know about.
No, you would know about that, unfortunately. You would know about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I ended up going with Tekla because I do think she's earned it, and I do hope that that's where they go. I hope that they go with her earning. Not that Willow doesn't deserve it. Willow is incredible, but it also makes All In more interesting if Tekla goes in, because I think if Willow goes in, nobody wants Willow to have a 1 month title reign. That's no fun, right? So I think
true.
it's more interesting if Tekla gets it.
Given that she's already beat Mercedes before, there's no reason to say she couldn't do it again.
That's true. That's true.
On the biggest stage, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Next up, the main event for the world title, the TNT champion, title not on the line though, is challenging Kenny Omega. Kevin Knight, Kenny Omega. You got 4 points left on the board. You go in Knight or Omega.
I gotta go Kenny here for 4.
In Canada. In Canada.
In Canada, Kevin Knight already has the title.
He's not there yet either. I love Kevin Knight. Yeah, this is. I'm trying to draw a comparison here of like a world title challenge of someone who's obviously going to be world champion, but not yet. I don't know. I'm completely blanking, but this just is like, yeah, it's not your time yet. You'll get there. It's kind of Jeff Hardy Undertaker in the ladder match, the I'm Still Standing ladder match. Like Kevin Knight's Jeff Hardy right now. And
yeah,
you can tell that's a world champion one day, but not right now. So there it is. There are our picks for Redemption. Our thoughts on the advancement in the Vince lawsuit. Kind of a short episode, but it's an emergency pod. We weren't setting up all of our typical segments and whatnot. We'll be back with all of that first week of September in the fallout of All In. If you want to listen to more of us, there are tons of classic reviews on this channel. You can go back and listen through. And remember just to enjoy wrestling.